Hello, friends, and welcome to another midweek reflection on how to read the Bible well. Today, I want to talk to you for just a few minutes about the importance of genre when we're interpreting the Bible. And genre is just a fancy word for the type of writing that we're reading. When we're not talking about the Bible specifically, it probably sounds intuitive for me to say that we are meant to read different genres differently. For example, when I pull out one of my family's recipe cards, I'm able to recognize by the format, by the content, that it is a recipe. And it exists in order to help me complete a task, namely to make a certain dish. And then I know how to read it and why to read it. But if I pull out one of my favorite fairy tales, I'm able to recognize that this is a narrative story because it has characters, it has a plot, it has symbols. And this doesn't exist for the same reason that my recipe does. They're both writing, but whereas the recipe is teaching me how to complete a task, the fairy tale might be to teach me a lesson. It might be just for my entertainment. It might be to help me understand something new. Like I said, when we're talking about writing that isn't the Bible, that makes a lot of sense. We barely even have to bring it up. But if you're like me, when we're talking about the Bible in particular, it's easy to see it all as one genre because it's all in one volume. But the Bible is an anthology of many, many books. And even within those books, the genres can change on a dime. And so we need to be conscious of which genre we are reading when, so that we know what the author's intention was in writing it. Form denotes function. How something is written gives us a clue as to why it was written and what will be included in it. So when we're reading Psalms, which were originally written as hymns, we should probably approach those differently than we do law books or history books. Genre can also help us to know how to interpret. In the New Testament, there are many, many letters. And we know that letters are a conversation, a correspondence between more than one person or group. And yet, the letters we have in the New Testament are only from one side of the conversation. That might lead us to ask questions like, what was the other person or group writing back? What questions were they asking? What inspired this conversation in the first place? And I think that can lead us to some very fruitful places. So the next time that you go to the Bible for study, for prayer, I encourage you to consider what genre you are encountering and see if that gives you any clues as to why it was written and what you're meant to receive from it. And I think if you do this, you'll discover that your reading experience, your study, is richer and more meaningful because you were intentional about seeing the process behind the product in front of you.